I'm concerned about you, man.
About Miles?
No, you.
Why?
I know things are rough in Tallahassee, and I legit,
Dude,
I legit. Hold on, let me tell you why I'm concerned because I just saw something I've never seen out of you before.
what's that?
Like I legit was watching. I was not watching the game. That's a lie. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna watch them until they play Florida. But I was watching the updates, and I was feeling sorry, not just for you, but for Florida State fans. It's gotten to that point where there's no like, oh, Florida State's losing. It's oh man, come on, let's get a win. Like let's get a win. Like I feel like we're all in this together now. We're that kid that maybe isn't as fast as everybody else on the playground, and he breaks open to score, and everybody starts pulling for him. That's Florida State right now. But sometimes I would anticipate maybe you walking in, I don't know, a whiskey drink or I don't know, something to comfort you. But we've hit a new low when you walk in to do the sports den and you're pulling chicken nuggets out your pocket.
Nah, was it?
Are we eating our way to comfort? Is that where we're at right now?
I've just been honestly, you know, I took your advice from last Wednesday's show.
Okay.
The only way you can be positive and be for real and be a real person in sports journalism is just don't watch it. I think it sucks and it stinks. Because you should always be able to be real with your friends and the people that you love. But if me telling the truth to my fam and the thing that I bled, sweat, and scored in both those end zones gets deemed as, that, I just rather not be a part of it.
So you're all right though.
I mean, I didn't lose.
Okay.
I lost the last time I lost to Louisville was in 2002.
Okay.
In the pouring down rain, but it's a lot of they did the whole rigmarole and they we're gonna get it better. I'm gonna put them in the right spot and I'm gonna do all of this and you got running backs that are averaging 7.6 yards a carry and your offensive coordinator who's a good dude says maybe we should figure out how to give him the ball.
Yeah, I'd give him the ball. That's probably the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's just. Nothing else is really.
I mean, I'm no math wizard, but you do that twice all the way down the field, and you don't come off the field. Like, I mean, my math could be off a little bit on that, but
and there's it's time. It's from per the statistics, but there was some times when you looked at it and they got cute and didn't do what they're supposed to do, and they spotted the guy. It looked like they spotted the guy's 31 points, and then. Decided to come back. I don't really know. I don't know what to say. I wasn't trying to
make this about Florida State. I'm checking in on you. Like, that's all I was doing. And Wednesday, I want to get into a little bit of, I think we should start a segment called Coach Speak, where what we used to do at the Jags press conferences, where we revisit the press conferences for the week from the mate. Like we should do it with Urban. Well, I don't know if we can actually. Now that I think about it, I don't think we can put that up.
Why? It's public domain.
That's true. Press conference. You're right. Yeah, I think we should start looking and dive into some of these press conferences and what they're really trying to say. But more than anything, like I said, I was just checking on you. We didn't do the instant reaction show. I'm gonna be honest, Jags. Y'all got us. You've got us. Like. I don't even want to do it. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to say. Like, and I get that some of you watch this and you say it's therapeutic, but I don't want to talk about this crap. Like, I mean, that's the problem right now. You see tweets about the crowd size and stuff like y'all are lucky there's anybody showing up at all.
That's facts.
18 straight losses, and all of them look the same. Like I tweeted this out yesterday, when you think about this game, and we say this a lot after losses on every level with every team, but this to me was just a crazy set of circumstances. D-Hop, who we said all week, we didn't have anybody could cover him, had three catches for 30 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, while good and exciting, was not unstoppable. He didn't have a touchdown pass, I don't think.
No, he had a rush.
Yeah, he had a rushing touchdown, but he didn't have a pass. We had a 109-yard return, bro. 109-yard return, which we're going to get to in a second. They were 1 for 9 on third down. The Cardinals, did you know that? They were
No, I didn't realize
1 of 9 on third down. I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to say that the Jags third down defense has to be top 3 in the league. Their third down defense has been spectacular this year.
I mean, there's been tons of reports that it's hard to talk about without it sounding just like my Saturdays. It's tons of positives. There's progress. There's all that. It looks better than it looks to some. It looks better than it did last year. But the difference is, I mean, what it is you're still defeated.
That's the problem. You do all of that. You do all the things that we've been talking about for years. We've talked about how Trevor's only taken 3 sacks now on the year. We throw out all these stats. Losers lose. Winners win. It really is that simple. Because the same thing can be said in Arizona. Like Arizona right now can say, we didn't have a passing touchdown. D-Hop only had 3 catches. They returned a kickoff or a field goal, 109 yards. Like we have and we still found a way to win.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what winners do. Losers lose and winners win. It's literally comes down to being that simple, regardless of circumstance, regardless of stat. People will tell you that third down efficiency stats are the most important stats in football. They're not wrong. But where the stats go out the window is when you are used to losing and you will find a way to lose.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, where stats go out the window is context. Being in third down situations 9 times is good. Now, being 1 for 9 isn't good, but being in third down situations, only like in theory, if you're driving down the field, that can be 2 drives. What that means is you didn't get in third down situations that
fair,
often.
yeah.
So that means your defense was put on edge or some things that, some stuff happened.
Which I don't think the case. I don't think that. Did you think the defense played bad yesterday?
No, I don't think.
They actually played really well.
I think they played good. I think
Taven Bryant
actually. I gave him his props.
Bryant.
I gave him his props. When I saw the sack, I was like, "Yo, wow, he's still here."
That's
good job.
Props.
No, I'm saying no, good. Like good for you. Like it was crazy to be able to hear your name. Chason did another one of those run stopping plays. It was early in the game. That was the only time I heard his name. Considering that you don't have CJ Henderson and you didn't have I forgot the other, whatever, it doesn't matter. You didn't have two of your top 4 corners. And the guys played well. Wingard had an interception. You again, like you said, he had
a couple of big plays in the run game too. Like he may not be as bad as we all think. He's not great.
You said a mouthful. Losers lose and winners win. When winners have a game where they perform really, really bad and it's not consistent with what you have seen, it's typically because said we were just playing the Jags. Until I see the Jags actually take advantage of a situation like this consistently, I'm not going to say Kyler Murray, who's been having an MVP type season up until this point, I believe they didn't take it as serious. They came into the game and they didn't perform. It's the NFL, not for long. I get it. Everybody's pretty good, but I'm not going to go out and say that after what I've seen consistently from Wingard, that all of a sudden maybe I was wrong with Wingard. I know what I saw the last 2 weeks.
I think
2 weeks previous.
Talent is on par with what's here. I'm saying is I think the fact that Wingard is a starter on your defense is a problem.
Right.
It's not the problem. He's not the problem.
Right.
The construction of your team is a problem when he is a starter on your defense.
Which I think is one of the ways you can be relative and the criticism is warranted. Is that I don't blame Taven. Taven can't help it. He was born this way. And he got picked to be here. He didn't pick himself to be here. Somebody brought him here. And somebody consistently puts him out there. And he actually did something really, really good. I'm happy for him. But I know what I've seen consistently over the last this is year 4, right?
Fair.
Yeah, so I know what I was consistently seeing. But what it does do is it dims the shine that is what Urban Meyer is, because this is his team. Like, he made the choices. He had cap space. The decisions that consistently get made are easy to question. He chose the coaches. When you hear a coach talk about a flea flicker in the play design and say that he wanted his was it his winger? Not winger. Was he a center or is he a guard? I was Norwell. He wanted his guard to do a little ballerina spin.
He did not say that, but go ahead.
He said that was part of the play design to sell the run.
No, he did not.
Oh, you didn't hear it, or you're saying he didn't say that?
I did not hear it. There's no way he said that. That's true. Wait, hold on. Before you go,
like I said, I'm just trying. I don't want to see, like, you're concerned about me with Nuggets. I'm concerned about you because on Wednesday you had this midlife crisis and we did an entire show on it. And then Friday we did our old show. And then right now today we're doing
I'm asking you a very simple question.
I don't want you to go down that road because I don't want to answer this to you because you sound like you don't know that this was what's going on Twitter.
I don't know. I don't know. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on what you're saying. You're telling me that Urban Meyer at some point.
Urban Meyer didn't say it. It was his OC.
He said that he wanted his left guard to spin around in a circle to sell the run.
Well, let me rephrase that. He didn't say spin around in a circle to sell the run. I'm going to admit that. He didn't say that.
A man's reputation is at stake here, so.
What he said, though, was that he did the spin around to sell the run. I added the extra stuff to quote Mark Long. So Andrew Norwell was doing the whirly bird on the flea flicker. It was intentional and supposed to sell the fake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's
and that whirly bird is what got your quarterback laid out while he was.
Let's break this down for a second. So they played last Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yesterday.
So they have Monday. I'm talking about, let's go back 8 days.
Oh, okay.
So they have Monday off, treatment, right? Maybe come in, watch some film, start a game plan. Tuesday they've got off, right? Per league rules.
Yeah, you have to give them that.
So then Wednesday they come in and that's when you start installing the game plan, right? And so I don't know, I wasn't there, but I want you to help me with this. You're in the O-line meeting or you're out on the practice field or something like that, and you're a veteran in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, hey, we're going to run a flea flicker. We're going to establish the run, and we're going to run a flea flicker.
Right.
And so you're like, dope. I like that. All right, cool. I've seen it work before. And
it's a quick hit and play.
Yeah, and to be honest, I ain't mad at the play call because they had just crammed it down their throat. And so if there was ever a time to run the flea flicker and get a reaction, it was then. And DJ Chark was wide open if he had half a second to throw. But I want to go back to Wednesday or Thursday when the coach comes to the offensive line coach, because that's who's doing this, right? Comes to him and says, listen, the way we're going to do this is we're going to snap the ball, we're going to fake it, and then you're going to turn around to act like you're lost, and that's going to help sell it. And Norwell, who is a veteran, a very highly paid veteran, agreed to this. Because the way I'm looking at this right now, you're talking about Urban Meyer. I'm going to put this on Urban Meyer because he saw it in practice, and he went along with it. Bevel, it was his idea. Shoddy, love you. You're my dude. You got to be stronger, man. Like, you got to step up. You got to go coach. I don't think, like, even if your job's on the line, even if you feel like it's not your place to speak up, you got to speak up and war hop. Like, you're getting mad at
the old black
guys asking you a question. You didn't speak up and go, Daryl, Coach Bevel, I've seen this play for the past 40 years. I've never seen a guard go around circles. And then it goes to Norwell, who probably, if we're being honest, has more power than any of the ones I named except for Urban Meyer. And he went along with it too. And it made it to Sunday.
Or, you know,
because I mean, that's what that quote means.
This could be one of those honorable things where people, like, you know, fall on the sword. Don't throw your people under the bus.
I hope.
But it really just makes everybody look like an idiot.
I hope,
because what you just said doesn't help.
No.
Like saying that Norwell got confused and messed up
happens.
Okay, but to say that this was a part of the process, and it went from head coach to OC to O-line coach. There's 2 assistant O-line coaches.
Well, they're not going to speak up. They ain't going to speak up. I'm going to throw them under the bus.
There's the player.
Mm-hmm. Who's your most veteran player?
There's the quarterback who's seeing this happen.
Right.
There's the D lineman that had to give you a look. That saw this happen. That had to pretend that this actually fooled them, so that you could get a good look. Or worse, maybe it didn't work in practice. Maybe maybe Taven said, "Listen,
not on my watch.
I'm not that stupid, bro. Regardless of what people think, I'm not that bad."
You ain't getting me with this one.
And
who exactly does that sell the run to, James? Who like, let's dig into this.
Because I've never seen, like, I'm trying to think what kind of run
this is sell. What we do, right? That we know football, so we break this down. There are people that are taught to read hat, low hat, run, high hat, pass. That's kind of gone away with RPOs, but okay. I've never heard a defensive coach go, listen now, if that guard starts spinning around in circles, they're running the ball. If he looks like a tornado.
What it looked like was a Madden glitch.
It looked like Taven. It looked like Taven a couple years ago.
That's never what you want to. That's not what anybody wants to hear. I look like Taven.
The turnovers have to stop. Like, they've got to stop. I don't care whose fault they are. It doesn't matter to me. You can blame the tight end for dropping the ball, early and it going into the hands of the defender. But I can also blame the game plan that had a tight end that just got here 3 days ago. Being in the game or running a route in that situation, being a viable option in that situation. Like, there's blame to go around, is my point. All that being said, you're blind if you didn't see a difference in game 3 and game 1 and 2.
Well, yeah, and it was a good game. It was better.
The pace was better. It looked like an NFL game. Defense was better. Defense against the run is clutch, and they have been all year, which is a big deal here because that hadn't been the case. James Robinson is phenomenal. Like, you got to feed him. You got to feed him. You got to feed him. It's not to say that you guys shouldn't be tired of losing, because I'm tired of losing, so much so that we didn't do the instant reaction show. It's to say that this team is bad, and little steps like that are the only thing that's going to keep you sane through this football season.
You said the defense did good. There were times, like, if it was scored, the offense would have scored, it would have probably helped a little bit more. But if I told you outside of the touchdown, but like Kyler Murray, 28 for 34, 316 yards, it's not really a bad day. 2 receivers over 100 yards.
Well, let's talk about a chunk of those yards. Our boy from Georgia,
AJ Green.
No, our Tyson Campbell. We need ball skills. We need ball skills, man. We saw it in the New Orleans preseason game.
Saw it in college.
And now that was an ugly throw yesterday. I think if Kyler Murray's being honest,
right,
he threw that ball and he went, oh crap. The ball went straight up in the air. It hung up there like a punt. And he didn't know what to do. And so I think there were plays, but I think all in all, the defense played well enough to win most games against an offense that's very, very explosive.
I'll give you that. If I told you a combined, there was 3 receivers. There's 22 targets to those 3 receivers. They caught 19 of them. Does that tell you your secondaries? They're not just losing one big play.
I'm not saying this to be argumentative. I'm not. I'm actually, yes.
And it wasn't, and D Hopkins isn't in that mix. They actually shut D Hop.
It's concerning, but the thing, I watched the game, and so I know what those were. It was a lot of hitches, a lot of slants. That a tackle was made immediately. Like I'm telling you, I can get behind the defense. I still think Miles Jack being in the middle is a mistake. I still think that's not where he belongs, and at some point you're going to have to play around your best player, possibly on your team.
You can't have the AJ Green. Was that the big catch?
Yeah.
Yep. So that was 20. Like 20 he averaged. So that would probably skew. He had 30. That was 36 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That was his longest. Kirk had a long of 33. He's averaging 15.
What's time of possession?
Let's see here.
Because I know the Jags took out a chunk with that one drive. But I got to think Arizona controlled time.
Arizona, it wasn't really as far off. 32, almost 33 minutes to 27. It's just,
I mean, the bottom line is
the Jags did put up, they did. It was a lot. It was a lot more improved. But here's what I just, for the life of me, I just can't understand. I was going here because, I guess he got over. He had 21 total touches, James Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Over 100 yards, like I'm 130.
He had 130 yards.
130 total offense. But, like, you got to get him to the 20 carry mark.
No doubt.
You got to figure out how to get him to the 20
especially in a game that's close most of the game.
And I really believe, and maybe you get, because I can't even knock them for giving Carlos Hyde the ball, because Carlos Hyde was going 5.5 a pop too.
The offensive line was blowing them off the ball.
You have to stop putting so much pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Like, he will be your best player.
Mm-hmm.
He is not your best player right now.
Did you see the stats on rookie quarterbacks that started so far this year?
Only one win, right?
And it was
Zach Wilson against another rookie.
Mac Jones. Mac beat Zach Wilson.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, got to reverse.
Yeah. So if you take that matchup out, they literally haven't won. There's a reason they haven't won. Last thing, and then we got to move on. The CJ Henderson trade. I've seen media and all that kind of stuff talk about how bad of a trade this is and all that kind of stuff. And man, y'all got to chill. Like, him being a number 9 overall pick a couple years ago is completely irrelevant in this point in time. What happened 2 years ago has no bearing on what's happening today. Like, if haven't we griped enough about the past draft picks and how bad they've been? And, like, we get it. Okay. We understand. You don't have to tweet that every single time a bad play is made or anything like that. Like, sometimes you can let stuff go. And sometimes you can just kind of be present. You can go, hey, you know what? They got what they could get. You've been saying you need a tight end. They went and got a tight end and a draft pick. And yes, they drafted him high. But this is a better situation for the Jags and a better situation for CJ. Period. It doesn't matter where he was picked. It doesn't matter where he went to college. Some of you guys just gripe to gripe, and I'm convinced about it, man. And it's like, just stop.
I think now, if it was all on CJ and it's all about the pick, fair. Here's the real gripe. This guy was available in free agency. You didn't have to trade CJ Henderson to get him. You needed to get something for CJ Henderson, but you could get another need filled for that trade. You probably should have done this similar to the Gardner Minshew thing. Mm-hmm. You should have done this earlier. It all comes down and it just reeks of arrogance because, and again, nothing wrong with feeling like you got a better hand than everybody else, but you don't. You probably could have got something more for CJ once when people didn't believe. Well, whatever lies you're telling, whatever the information, let me rephrase that you're telling them before you're like, oh, he ain't been in practice for a whole week. Mm-hmm. He ain't been to this. The issues were there. You kind of knew it. Now, granted, you may have tried to rehab stuff, but this isn't college. This is the pros. It's a professional mind. Your job is to win games. Your job is to field the best team. And I think the fans, and this is why fans need voices through shows or through different things that they can take, because they don't know how to articulate what it is they're feeling. They're just mad. But when you look at the totality of the short term that Urban Meyer has been here, and this, not just who's my man, Trent Baalke. I want to make sure I say his name right because I don't know if everybody knows who Ben is anymore.
Yeah.
But when you look at what they've done, you just talked about Tyson Campbell. Mm-hmm. There's not little Walter has he dressed yet?
I don't think so.
Like you go through
he's on the COVID list now.
Jesus. You go through who they've drafted. Okay, we can't really use any of these guys. You go through the tight end room. You put a project out there that we all knew you were going to cut. And I'm not mad at Tebow. I'm mad at you, Urban. Tebow did what any of us would do in the situation. What good is it, to quote our guy Lenny, what good is it having friends in high places if you don't use them? Mm-hmm. But instead of actually going and getting a real tight end that you can use and you can develop, you went and got a gimmick. So now you have Abercrombie and Fitch that's going across the middle with alligator arms in his third day being here, or whatever the hell his name is. That wouldn't have happened maybe if you would have maybe brought that guy in another day. Then you go to Gardner. We knew Trevor Lawrence was starting. Mm-hmm. You could have got something for Gardner. We knew there was deficiencies in other places. You didn't fix them. So now fan just sees this. You're and right. they see that, and now they're just grasping, and it may be an overreaction in that.
It's not the fan that it's the guys that get paid to do this. All I'm saying is maybe think of a different way to say it.
Yeah, like you should the whole Gator DB curse thing is way overrated.
Well, it's also, you're right. Very well said on all of it. But what really would have been arrogant is to still not recognize the problem.
Fair.
Like there's a lot of things that I wish I would have done earlier that at some point it was like, oh, well, crap, I got to do it now. Right. I think that this is, and it sucks. It sucks because we have to watch this crap. We didn't want to believe how bad this team was. We didn't want to believe how long it was going to take to rebuild. And we see teams that rebuild like that at every level. Look at Arkansas right now. We're going to get into that in a minute. We see teams like this all over the place. And we were hopeful that that was going to be the situation. Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, like all this thing. But it's foolish to still believe that, is my point. Now you've got to start to come to the reality that this is a really bad team. And I don't know what Urban's going to be. Call me crazy. I still believe that Urban Meyer will figure this out. Urban Meyer's a smart guy. He's learning. He's making mistakes. Mm-hmm. I don't know that he had the best people around him for a brand new NFL coach. I think he will address that.
Okay.
I don't know. But with that being said, like you're not, if you told me right now, you have to bet on the number of wins and it's over under 3.
I'm going to take the under.
I am too. I don't like what happened yesterday. You've got a young team that can get fired up and they can give you a good 20-minute spurt. And then the first thing that happens it's like, ah, crap, here we go again. And you got to learn to win, like we talked about. Losers lose, winners win. And until you become a winner, you're not going to win. It's chicken and egg. You gotta stumble your way to the first win to get a false sense of confidence to get the second win. And then after that, you start to build on those things. And then as you're walking into anywhere you want to walk into with a confidence that I don't care what happens, I don't care if everything goes against us and they return a kickoff 109 yards, we're going to win. And there's a calmness about that in the third and fourth quarter of, hey guys, we're down 9. We're fine. Whereas when you're losing, it's we're down 1. We got to start throwing the ball every damn play.
And I think that's when your players can't have it. It's when your coaches are the ones who are supposed to do that. And when you're going, again, the box score doesn't tell the story. It shows that we gave them 15 carries, but you got to get your momentum and you got to get your run. Like when you're going and you've gotten 4 or 5 good carries, then all of a sudden you go and throw it 7 times in a row, like you get cold. Like you can't let Trevor get into a routine where he has to win it with his arm. He's just not there yet. And you know who should know this? The offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, head coach. They should know, you know what? Hey, we're putting him in this position. And because what happens is, and I didn't get into like no argument. It was just I keep telling people, they're like, he should have caught that. No problem. Let me put a ball in your hands. You reach out, hold it out, and let me hit you in your ribs with a bat. And let's see if you hold on to the ball. See what happens. I'm not arguing with you that he shouldn't. But what I'm saying is Gronk makes that. Gronk made that catch on Sunday, almost died, but he made that catch on Sunday. I don't expect Aeropostale in his third day in Jacksonville to make that catch because people are like, oh well, I was like, if Trevor could have let him a little bit, maybe it would have been an easier catch. But when he caught it, they're like, he was wide open. I said, guys, no, you're never really wide open. He caught it, and as soon as he caught it, the linebacker hit him. So we dropped it. He dropped it before the linebacker hit him. But that lets me know that what he was doing was peaking. Wrong on all accounts. But that's what happens when you force the ball in there. And a lot of quarterbacks do that. And what I don't want because he did it in other plays, and it should have been other interceptions. But I love the confidence that he has in his arm. So I told Chris Porter that's not going anywhere.
Keep slinging. By the way, if you throw 30 picks, throw 30 picks. Yeah. Keep slinging.
I'm good with that. I just think that the adults can maybe come in a little bit and to keep them calm so that they're in better
really
situations.
Weird, James, because as much as we talk about Bevel in the Super Bowl call, the one thing he did with Russell Wilson is kind of walked him into the game. His first couple of years, like it was a much different offense when Russell Wilson was coming up than what
we're seeing
right now. Let's move on though. We'll start with Florida because I have a take on Florida.
Well, before we get into all of that,
okay. ABC.
Well, we need to say somebody. One of them. It doesn't matter which one. We got to talk about one of them.
We just got right into it. Yeah. Well, ABC should be loving life right now because all you jokers should be drunk. Yeah. Like, what happened? Oh, that was that wasn't the first one?
No.
Oh, my bad. That's on me. Yeah, ABC, get to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, get to thehumidor.com, get to all of those places. Like that's where we need you. You need a drink just to calm down. You got Monday Night Football tonight. And then you got Eagles Cowboys. That'll be fun. And then you got a couple nights off for your liver to recover. And then you're back at it again on Thursday with the Jags game, which you're going to need. Strong stuff, good stuff. Thursday night. So get to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. We have a new partner that we're going to talk about in just a second as well. Very excited about them. And I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. It's actually just a singular statement. Florida's for real, man. Florida's got a chance, not just this year, but in the next couple of years, to take that next big jump. They played a Tennessee team that caught a couple of plays at the right time that I believe that in the past, in the recent history, even in the last couple of years, that would have been a close game. Like Florida would have had a hard time putting them away. I loved what I saw Florida do. And I'm not being a homer here. Anybody listens to the show knows that's not me. But you saw Florida not panic. You saw the play calling stay consistent. And you saw them just literally knock the wind out of Tennessee not over one play, over the course of a quarter and a half, to the point where Tennessee was like, we don't have a chance. That's what the good teams do. And we've been missing that in Florida, even as good of a season as they've had the last couple of years and as talented as they've been. I've never gotten the feeling like that was the case. I have a level of confidence in Florida right now that I haven't had since Urban Meyer was there. I'm not saying they're winning a natty. Not. But even in the past couple of years, it's been like, we got Kentucky this week. It worries me. I'm not there this year. Right now, it's like, okay, it may be a 10-point game, but I don't feel like we're ever going to be that worried about it. I feel like that's the Florida team. They don't make a ton of mistakes. They play fast. Tackling's still a little sketchy, but offensively, they're really dang good, man. They're running the ball against whoever they want to, whenever they want to. That's hard to stop. That's demoralizing to the other team.
The only teams that could stop that are teams that are built like that, which will be your Georgias, your Alabamas,
which they rushed for 300 yards against Alabama.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Georgia's built a little different, but I thought the same thing the other night while I'm watching the Tennessee game, and I'm like, man, but when they play, and then I was like, well, dang, they just shredded Alabama, which is the first team that people mention when you say, oh, they're going to run the ball. Like a guy that I know that's a Georgia beat writer said, man, Florida is not going to be any good because if somebody stops their run, Emory can't beat you with his arm. And I wanted to say, yeah, but who's going to stop the run? Because what you want to say is Alabama, and I can just flip it and go, they just rushed for 300. Right. You know what I mean? So I think Florida's the real deal, man. I think Florida is underrated right now. I think they're a top 5 team in the country, since I see what Ohio State is and Oklahoma is and all those guys. And I also am going to say something that's going to make a lot of people mad. The SEC probably at the end of this year should, if it keeps playing out, have 3 teams in the playoff. Because and it's not the strength of the SEC, it's the weakness of everybody else.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll give you this. Like, let me see Georgia do it against. I want to see the Georgia-Florida game before I.
Well, you're gonna find out this week with Georgia.
Who's Georgia got?
Arkansas.
That let me know everything I need to know about Arkansas.
Yep.
Because
Arkansas is Georgia, Alabama back to back. By the way,
here's where SEC fans, I love them because they have a short-term memory though. Remember 2013, 2014. At one point in 2014, they were doing the ESPN college playoff thing every week. They had 4 teams.
Yeah, was that Mississippi State, Arkansas, and
then it all worked itself out.
Right.
And we found out that, okay, early in the season, these guys were good. Some guys want some key marquee matchups. We found out that some of the teams that they played out of conference might not have been as good as we thought. We learned a lot. We'll see more. I believe Florida's it. I think no matter what Arkansas and Ole Miss have done, have made the SEC West fun.
Yeah.
Because if nothing else,
every week, man,
they don't fear anybody.
Yeah.
And before Arkansas could be like, yo, we fear, but like Sam Pittman can say, well, I was at Georgia and this is what we did and this is how we built it. Lane can say, hell, I was just as big a part of those championships as Saban was.
I changed the whole like strategy of Alabama football. Right. He did.
And so, but what I will say is what Oregon's doing is impressive on the West Coast. And
but give me another team. Really, like that's the thing. It's not as much pro SEC as it is. We've always had Clemson to lean on.
Yeah, I just have to see because I got to see how Arkansas, how Arkansas Ole Miss loses to Bama.
Forget Arkansas for a second.
No, I'm just saying those two because it'll either
tell you about Bama.
It'll be 2 teams. If you're saying that Well, I guess it could be 2 teams from the East. Yeah, and then 1 team from
Right.
the West. I just have to see how they play out. But your argument, I mean, because Ohio State's not what we thought they were.
Ohio State's not good.
Clemson, I told you, like, to Clemson's defense, it's hard. You've had back-to-back, really back-to-back top quarterbacks. Very difficult to do that. But they had Deshaun Watson massage board before they had before Trevor came along.
Yeah, I was thinking Kelly.
And even really Kelly, like, people talk about Kelly, like Kelly didn't lead him to the playoffs the year before.
Bro, when he left, he was terrible though.
I get it. There's a lot. That's like, right now, that's like saying like Tony Elliott's a terrible OC. Now that my man is at South Florida. The co-OC, because it was 2 of them.
Tony Elliott's not good.
Oh, there it is. But they said that he's the one who called the plays.
He did call the plays.
So what happened? Is he just not good at explaining it at the practice side of it? Or like, because I mean,
see, this is where the new Denny is struggling, man. We'll have this conversation off there. I'm not gonna put this business out there like this.
Well, that's fine. Like again, if
calling plays is a part of it. You got to develop guys.
Maybe not good is harsh. It's a little bit strong of a statement. Like, maybe just use a different word. Like, you're giving an opinion based upon information that you have. It is not top secret information. I'm to this, because then I got to talk about, because we need to talk about Arkansas, because I really like what they're doing. Or what I think that's what you said you want to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's all I want to say about Florida.
But like,
and no, I don't know anything about anything, Richard. I'll leave me alone.
To my point, I give my boy Grimes the most credit in the world, because this was the dopest bar that I've ever heard in my life.
Grimes.
He's a coach in the Atlanta area.
Okay.
I can do more for them than they could ever do for me.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to coach in college. But he said, but what I do have access to is a pipeline in the school that will consistently put out 4 or 5 guys that everybody in America want.
Right.
Blackball me if you want to.
Well, I'm not worried about that.
But what I'm saying is you're saying like you're not being negative. You're just stating an opinion based upon what you have seen.
No, I got it.
I'm saying it wasn't malicious. It's none of that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, the new Denny is cool. That's fine.
No,
what
I got
you said.
it.
Maybe a different word. Maybe he's terrible. Like, I don't know if you said terrible.
I said good.
Terrible.
Yeah.
You said he's not good.
Right.
But like, and then maybe we should. And another thing, like, what do OCs? What is a good OC?
Well, he's also the quarterback coach.
So it's a direct reflection of what the product. DJ Ukulele isn't playing very well right now.
I'll just put it this way. Think about some of the mechanical issues that I have expressed about Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
Go look at his high school film, and they didn't exist.
And like now they
right,
because it's coming out.
Right. Just leave it at that. We have a new partner real quick before we get to Arkansas, because a lot of you guys are going to need. So I want to tee this up a little bit, because I'm excited about this. A few years back, we partnered up with Dr. Capasso and ThinMD Med Spa, and out of it, we got like a really at worst there's not another partner that we've had that's helped both of us out.
But I don't
more than that one, right?
Love Dr. C
and helped us out with recovery, with weight loss, with just overall health in general, and has become a really good friend of both of ours. Well, let's just say the marketing worked and really had no need for marketing anymore, right? With us. So we've been looking for like another place similar for years. Right. And a lot of these places are like weird places, man. Like you got to find the right. You got to find like a legit doctor associated with them, science behind it, the right equipment, the right funding, or you may go somewhere and get just completely bad information. Well, we found it. And so our newest partner, see it right there, Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa over off of St. John's Bluff. Guys, listen to me. If something's not feeling right, or if you just feel off, or hell, you just want to live a better lifestyle, like you want to have a better quality of life, take it from 2 guys who have been down this road. You need to go see these guys. because what they can do for you may be in fantastic shape, but maybe your joints ache, or you're semi-depressed, or you're not sleeping well, or something. Like, you don't have to live that way. That's not a fact of life. You can get help with it. That's what Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa does.
They have all kinds of services, different things that they specialize in. But the biggest thing, and we'll talk more about this, is the executive men's treatment. I forgot the exact name, but I'm gonna get it to you. But basically, it's 24-hour doc. Let's say you're not feeling good, got the sniffles. Dr. Holthouse is his name. Is dope doc. He's actually one of the guys who helped.
Dope doc.
He's a dope doc.
You can't say that because now there really are dope docs.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a great doctor.
He's not going to sell you dope.
He's not going to.
We don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know him like that. He may. But he's actually one of the guys who, when people were like, James, you got to stop walking. You got to stop doing all of this. When I had COVID, I was like, I'm not listening to you. You're not Dr. Holthouse. Dr. Holthouse helped guide me through it. They have the hyperbaric chamber, basically oxygen therapy. They've got basically all those things that you hear on other places that do commercial, except for they're good. They have got HGH therapy. They've got testosterone replacement. They've even got that thing, the Gaines wave thing. I'm lucky. I don't need that. I hope I never need that. But if you need that, it's there.
But don't live your life that way.
Yeah.
Like,
basically,
if you're having issues in the bedroom, go get that handled. You walk a little bit better.
ExecutiveHealthSpa.com.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, what's the embarrassment about that? We ain't gonna tell nobody.
You don't have to be in Jacksonville. You can go to ExecutiveHealthSpa.com, but to use some of the services, it would help you. It's basically what Arkansas did.
Yes,
they went in and from a program.
Arkansas went from erectile dysfunction
to erect.
Yes.
Like they are pumping blood. They got all kinds of blood flowing.
It's like they're walking around right now, chest up, head held high, going, if we wanted her, we could have her. If we wanted her, we could have her. Like, that's the level of confidence that Arkansas has. That's the level of confidence you can get at Executive Health Spa. But anyway, you can't say enough of. I don't care like what happens the rest of the year. I don't think people remember because they didn't pay attention to Arkansas the last couple of years. They went years without a win in the SEC.
3 years.
This story is the ESPN Game Day game of the week at noon, by the way, which is weird.
Yeah,
That's plays into Arkansas's hand in a big way. But it's in Athens. They'll tell the story. I would watch it because being from Arkansas, having a lot of friends that are Arkansas fans, Arkansas was the Jaguars of college football. No matter what changes they tried to make, no matter what their recruiting class looked like, no matter what they did, no matter how much money they put after it, they could not win football games. They tried everything. This guy gets the job, and I've long been consistent on this, that you can win at Arkansas. You especially with name, image, likeness now. This guy gets the job, comes in with a plan, hires his staff, puts his system in, gets these guys believing, picks up a couple of transfers, recruits not highly, but well. And now, win or lose, you can't argue they're a top 15 team in the country. They went from not able to win to a top 15 team in the country.
I've liked what I've seen. And I like the maturity that the fun he brings and the maturity that he's made everybody adapt to, including his coaches. I talk about this because of Kendall Browse and the things that I do know. I do know that they got into it, and I do know Sam Pittman outside. Unlike the last coach, Sam Pittman won that battle.
You don't get into it with Sam Pittman.
But here's the reason why. Sam Pittman took a chance on Kendall Browse because remember, Kendall Browse was the last offensive coordinator hired. He saw Ole Miss with his former coach at FAU hire his brother-in-law, Levy.
Jeff Levy. Yep.
He saw other schools.
Very good OC.
Yep.
He was at UCF before.
Yeah, no knocks on, really good. Like,
it
I'm
wasn't
just saying,
a stretch hire.
Yeah, it wasn't a stretch. Hire his best friend too. Yep. Don't even bring him in. But like, just these are different things that could have that happened because he was on the market and available. Basically, he he was stepped over. Comes in and adopts a philosophy that, hey, you are in control. But sometimes I'm going to tell you what I want, and you get to control how you give me what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, you got to, in the SEC, you got to know how to run the damn ball.
Yep.
You can't just go hurry up, no huddle, and not, because it's putting your defense in a bad spot. They found a great mix. The guys have, I hate this word, but I guess they bought in.
Yep.
Completely changed the culture, and they're having fun believing they could do it. And I want to stick to Arkansas, but this is the reason why I'm so, not like, I have faith, but I'm so hard on my alma mater because I don't want to hear it. 2 years, Pittman not only has won SEC games, he beat Texas A&M with an established coach who's been there for a lot longer, and they have thrown. Texas A&M has spared no resource
and recruited well
to try. This is his third year. Everybody's talked about Jimbo. More his third year, excuse me. Everybody's talked about when Jimbo gets his quarterback in there, give him his time to let him establish it. He may not ever win a national championship, but Jimbo's a damn good coach. He is a consistent, win motivated, 9 to 10 win coach at minimum. Pittman comes in with a team that doesn't even sniff the amount of talent that Texas A&M has. Per a ranking standpoint, goes in and wins.
Wears them out.
Yeah,
that doesn't just win. Wears them out. Like physically beat the piss out of them.
Right. And it's a fun style of offense, and it's impressive, and it's kind of one of those, like, again, it kind of makes you kind of, okay, I'm gonna keep my eyes. Same thing with Ole Miss. Impressive, fun style. Ole Miss, year one, COVID year, doesn't get a chance to put your whole offense in the spring. We've seen with Mac Jones what Alabama was able to do with consistency and organization. Amazing. If anything, like, especially with them winning, they need to go back, interview kids, show here's how you, because this is the blueprint of what you do during the COVID year and how you can maintain them. Puts points up on them. This is what happens when you actually go in with a understanding what you have, scouting yourself, and finding the pieces to put yourself in those positions to where you can actually make those gains in year one and year two. Because if you have a system, you can put guys in the position to make plays. Even Kendall Browse, when he came in year one at Florida State, again, going back to Arkansas, guys were in position to make plays. He just didn't know how to run the clock out, and the defense couldn't make one stop. He couldn't make one more score, but like, he's able to do that he's been able to do that at Arkansas.
They've got some flaws, and they play back-to-back teams that can expose those flaws. But I got a chance to know Sam Pittman when he was at Georgia, and I'm going to tell you what he is and what he's doing at Arkansas. That's really, really impressive to me. What he is he's everything people want Ed Orgeron to be, without the novelty. He's a hard-nosed guy that's going to tell you the way it is, and he's super honest, to the point where I have some quarterbacks this signing class that are dudes, top 50 guys. I text Arkansas. Like, hey, one of my guys is interested. Get a text back. We love him. I'm like, cool. Next text, but we really love our quarterback room right now, and we don't want to mess with that chemistry. You know who does that? Clemson. You know who does that? Alabama. You know who doesn't do that? You know who else does that? Florida. You know who doesn't do that? Georgia.
Right.
Texas A&M. All these teams, like, they try to go get. I want this 5-star. I want this 4-star. I want this 5-star. Sam Pittman knows that the most important thing he's got going for him at Arkansas at this point. Now, he may change as he gets bigger, but at this point, the most important thing he's got going for him is what the Arkansas players believe he is. And the minute that he shows something different than what they believe him to be is the minute he loses that team. Does that make sense?
Which I think is, I've wrote numerous more articles than I've ever wanted to write on the coaching process and the changing of different things. The most important recruiting job you have when you take that job isn't your transition class. Yep. Everybody talks about, go in and bring. No, the most important recruiting job you have is keeping the players who are currently on that team there and selling them on yourself. Whether you believe in what they don't, or what they can do or what they can't, it's faster to win that way. I hate to bring it up because it's another SEC school, but the person who did it better than anybody was Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
Dan Mullen took over a 4-8 team and won 10 wins the next year. Now, I believe, because I know a little bit, that 4-8 team was also pretty good the year before. Yeah, a lot of injuries happened, but I mean, same concept.
To your point, because I don't want it to go unnoticed, what you're talking about with Sam Pittman, think about if you're an Arkansas player, put yourself in their shoes. The two previous coaches made the same promises. So at that point, you got complete trust issues. You probably want to hit the portal. You're probably like, man, whatever this dude tells us, we've heard this all before. He had to win that over.
And what's crazy is this.
Picture if Florida State hired another guy right now, and he went in and said everything that Willie and Mike have said. That's what Sam Pittman walked into.
Pause. It's the exact same situation. Literally. Jimbo left, promised them that I was going to give you family and do all of these things. Willie comes in, promises that we're going to bring it back to championships, gets fired after 18 months. Yeah, year and a half. You bring in Mike Norvell, and it hasn't changed. They haven't bought into it.
I'm saying bring Mike Norvell in with one more coach.
But no,
like one more coaching change.
But what I'm saying is like that same quick turnaround coaching change. Yeah. Arkansas fired their guy not too shortly after Willie Taggart was fired.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's literally the exact same situation, except for here's where it is different. And the more I chew on it, the more things I've had. We have some really great conversations on the inside drills with me and Freddie. And some of the other stuff. Like I never really realized until Marvin Jones Sr., former great New York Jet. These guys have never had a winning season. These seniors. I think the last time Florida State could say that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Arkansas guys have never had a win. Like some of these guys are used to that.
Some of them that never won a game.
Yeah. Winning seasons are like, few and far in between there. Outside of every now and then that you had the
Petrino.
Yeah, Petrino.
Petrino was lighting it up there.
So Mike Norvell was great at Memphis. But we always forget that Justin Fuentes took Memphis from when it was really, really in the bottom. And Mike got a 9-win team when Justin went to Virginia Tech. It's not knocking what Mike did, but Mike didn't build Memphis. Sam Pittman didn't build Georgia at all.
Right.
But what's the difference between him, what Lane Kiffin could do, what Kirby was able to do? They got a chance to see on the highest level what it's supposed to look like. Yeah. And if I can take, like, if I'm going to Arkansas, and listen, dog, this is what all we had at Georgia. If you can't give me that, I can't take this job. They have the funds, they have the resources. All right, we're going to give you as much of this as we know to give you, and then what we don't have, tell us so we can adopt it, and we'll come in here. And it's not just a facilities thing. It is a systematic approach about how you go about the things that you need to go about. How can you, like, you don't know what it's like when you're a really, really good program. Like, we're going to wake up at 6 a.m. this way.
Yeah.
We're going to wake up to taps. Or something. I'm just joking. Yeah. Like, this is how we're literally going to
rewire you. Yep.
We're going to mimic what they did until I can put my own stank on it.
Yep.
When I started training, it was a mentor of mine actually taught me everything I know, Kez McCorvey. Kez used to say, listen, James, until you figure it out, I won't just repeat what I say. And then try to do it to the best of your ability.
Yep.
And honest to God's truth, he was right. I just literally used to go and regurgitate what I heard him say.
Yep.
And then after that, I started figuring out how to say it on my own.
Yep.
And then it became my own thing. And I think that's why you can see Arkansas, Ole Miss have success a lot faster.
Now that we've talked so much about them, they're gonna get blown out this weekend,
which is great. I don't care.
I'm sure they'll be in the pick 'em on Friday. By the way, I was 8-2 this week. Ripped it up back-to-back weeks. Anyway, make sure you get to Green Acres. Like I want to one more thing, and then we'll run. But let's get Green Acres in here. GreenAcresSporting.com. Guys, James was right the other day when he said, "I guarantee you, somebody's talking negative about Green Acres." I went back and I looked because I was curious about that comment. And sure enough, there was this dude like, why y'all always pumping up Green Acres? They do this, they do. Let it go. Like, I mean, well, maybe you're the turd. Have you ever thought about that? Like, if you're one of these dudes, and I'm sure maybe you're a nice guy. I don't know, but if you're one of these guys that everywhere you go, the service is bad, or everywhere you go, somebody rips you off, who's the common denominator?
Right.
Green Acres been around forever.
Yeah.
Like, if you've been to their place, you don't build that place if you ain't good at what you do. You don't build that place if you don't know what you're talking about. You don't build that place if you don't have good customer service. We're telling you, get to Green Acres. I don't even like to highlight the negative. I was more propping James up for calling it right. But I can tell you right now, any gun I buy, Green Acres.
I can tell you now, October 12th, 11 a.m., we're having a gun, not gun safety, concealed weapons. The weapon class. The thing you got to take before you get your gun permit. You got to take this anyways, $49.95. We'll take a couple more spots that are open. If you go to the sportsden, the event page, you can go register for that, or basically save your spot, and I'll make sure you get some lunch if you guys come out.
That's nice.
Check it out. Yeah, we'll figure somebody to foot the
bill. Go see Z.
I don't think it will be me. I'm going to get somebody to cater it, but yeah.
Go see Z at Green Acres. He'll get you taken care of, regardless of what you're looking for: hunting, fishing, bow hunting, whatever it is. Knives. They have this huge selection of knives there as well, if that's your thing.
Like, real honest question. Like, what do people that complain is that they spend a lot of, like, the bullets cost more money.
Is that what it is?
That's one of the main complaints. Outside of everybody says they can get a gun cheaper, and I'm like, okay, fine, go get it cheaper. But like, they're like, but there's literally, you know what the other complaint is that most Americans are having right now?
They can't get ammo.
They can't get ammo. Isn't that capitalism?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that supply and demand? Number one, and I really don't think it's from after hearing, just to explain it from Z's perspective. They buy and they're always looking for ammo from other shops. They buy more. Sometimes he has to buy it for more money than what he's used to buying.
If you don't like it, don't buy it.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying the costs get obviously paid, but that's the reason why they have ammo, is because he's willing to spend. So I just wanted to explain.
If we were to read a commercial about Gate, you're gonna gripe about the price of gas? Like, it's not like they control that, man. Calm down. You call JEA about your bill every month?
I wish. They did hit me over the head during COVID, though.
Yeah. Well, they had all those people not paying.
Yeah. Don't make me pay, because other people are not paying.
I don't have a hate o'clock at all.
I got one.
You got one? Okay, go.
And to his defense,
this is always good when it starts like that.
No, he's walked it back.
Is it in the Geneva Convention?
Nah, I'm not even gonna rip the young man as much as I probably should. But Ohio State had a very interesting thing happen on Saturday. Kayvon Pope quit in the middle of a game.
I mean, why wait?
He threw his gloves.
When you know. Like,
he threw his gloves in the stands, took off his jersey, and was being escorted into the locker room.
Why are we not praising him for giving his gloves to a young man?
Then after that night, and this is what I don't understand with these young men in this shorthand. It's 4 letters. You've already spelled it. You just took the K out and replaced the K with another C.
What?
Just go ahead and spell it all the way out. The F word.
Oh. And
then he said Ohio State. And he didn't disrespected the university by not saying the Ohio State. And disrespected the great,
which is one of my pet peeves, by the way, the Ohio State. Yeah. Like, there's 8 of them around.
Well, that's true. But he disrespected the most important jersey that's on a football field.
Okay.
The number 36. It's supposed to be when you wear this jersey.
That was his number?
That was his number. When you wear this jersey, you're supposed to carry yourself with a sense of pride, honor, and have leadership. He's an older guy. He's a senior. So I can't call him a young man, but
he's got his degree.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah. That's important. And then he came back and said, hey, I was, mad. He didn't get in the game. He wanted to get in the game, and a guy said, no, I got this. A younger guy obviously took his spot, which kind of brings me to coaching And today's athlete, and that's really my hate o'clock. It's not just this young man, because obviously, he's done. His career is over. Nobody's gonna he can't redshirt.
Can I read his statement?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have it. It says, last night I let my emotions get the best of me. For that, I want to apologize to my teammates, coaches, and Buckeye Nation. I made a mistake and know that I need to be better and do better. I'm going to take this time to reflect and work on my mental well-being.
And I believe that. But here's why I believe his mental well-being is off. It's because we coddle kids. And we blame the kids for being the way that they are. But to quote one Robert Bowden, the kids haven't changed. It's the parents that have changed.
Are you suggesting that Kayvon Pope has been coddled?
To act in that manner, to feel like you are entitled to get on that field, no matter who you're playing.
He did kind of pitch a fit at Publix. That was kind of that's what it looked like. You're right.
Yeah, at no point is that the time and the place to be able to do that. Practice, man, get better, or realize that you've got your degree, you're a senior. There are things in life that you're going to be able to do post.
Go out there and yank the other dude off the field.
Or just get better.
Get kicked off. That's my point. If you're going to do this.
But here's my problem. Your life is going to tell these people the truth. And that's what the sport can reflect. You're not good enough sometimes. You're just not good enough. Your best is not good enough. And there's no better way to find that out sometimes in a safer manner than in sport, and how to actually learn how to deal with it, how to internalize it, how to get better,
how to find your role,
and that's the best thing, is to find your role. Mm-hmm. I deal with it sometimes with my sons. I deal with it with some of the kids I coach. Yes, you worked hard. Everybody worked hard. You don't get participation trophies. Participation trophies are for I-9, and even my I-9 team doesn't deal with that best. I tell my parents all the time.
Be careful. You're going to get kicked out of I-9.
Possibly. But I tell my parents all the time, practice is where we get better to improve so we can play in a game. If we're in the goal of us in the game is to win it. If your kid ain't good enough right now, we're not putting them in the game.
You tell the parents this all the time?
I tell them this in the beginning.
How old are these kids?
I've been doing this since they were 5.
So you're bringing the parents in.
I kid you not.
They all know. We got to get video of
this. All know. And nobody challenges me. Nobody says this. Because in practice, I'm going to be in there. I'm going to show them what they did wrong. We're going to coach them up. But if we're in like this past weekend, the game was a little closer than I liked it to be. I got on my guys who are my vets, who've been playing for a little bit longer. It's y'all fault that your teammates didn't play, because y'all didn't come in with the mindset to be dominant. Now, we did get everybody in.
Do we have this video, Miles?
We got everybody in the game. Listen, we got everybody in the game, but they have to understand that practice is where you get better.
I just want to see your tone.
I want to see your tone. I talk to him just like this. I don't cuss him out. I did toss a... Never mind. I won't say that. I did place my my marker board down, but it wasn't because of the kids. It was just one of them games. Like, for example, we had a guy, we had Bodie got an interception. And new kid, Jake, who's tremendously getting better each week, getting more playing time because he's getting better. Jake had a 9-year-old moment. He tackled Bodie. We needed points. I needed to go ahead and break this game open. And instead of us getting the points, we get tackled behind. I
like the aggression.
It was great. Then he was just like, my bad. I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to hear it. Don't even worry about it. It's okay. We'll deal with it. But when I have kids do other stuff, like you see it in high school, this is why kids bounce around 4 or 5 different schools. At a certain point, you got to look in the mirror. The kid is tough for you to look at that, but as a parent, you got to look in the mirror and be like, maybe my kid's just not good. And it's okay to not be. This is a game. Like, Kayvon, you got a degree from a prestigious university, and had you not made that temporary decision, that permanent decision off of a temporary emotion, you probably would have been set pretty good for life. Because Ohio State alumni is one of the largest alumni bases, and they take care of their own. I'm not saying you would have just walked in.
I never heard of Kayvon Pope before now, but
I've never heard of a lot of people before. Like there's some, but sometimes the connections.
No, you're right.
Just go deep, and he can prove that he's played.
Can I read one thing to you?
Yeah, sure.
Because I actually screenshotted this because my hate o'clock was not Kayvon Pope. My hate o'clock was Heather Dawn, also known as @Heather4139081 on Twitter. She was the first to respond to Kayvon's.
And she responded like a typical internet troll.
She said she has an Ohio State banner as her profile picture.
So that lets me know she's probably.
So here's what Heather Dawn had to say to Kayvon. Emotions during the game are acceptable. Trying to disgrace the university that has been providing for you for years is not. You're an incredibly lucky young man to still have your scholarship. If you're truly sorry, you'll take advantage of it and keep your emotions in check.
There's some things in there that shows that she doesn't understand the process, but that wasn't the worst.
Why do I just get the feeling that Heather is driving a minivan, stopping at my front lawn when I'm outside, telling me that they ain't coming to pick the sofa up till another week. You have to bring it back in or I'm going to call the HOA. Why do I get the feeling that Heather is the person that at the red light, it turns green and she lays on her horn or yells at her kids and she's telling some kid to keep his emotions in check because the university has been providing for him for years?
I also think people sometimes...
And he's lucky to still have... He graduated, Heather.
In the scholarship's a contract.
Well,
so
regardless, he graduated. So I want Heather think about this. He's playing there for free right now. He's already got his degree. He's already there for what they paid him for in air quotes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you want to talk about keeping emotions in check? Don't say something like that.
I think it's easier. People look at the athlete, and studies have shown this too. They probably like you judge them.
Before you say this, has there actually ever been a study on this?
Yes, not on athletes.
I just didn't know if you were like,
no, but that is a good
studies say
that is one of those things that you can probably say that makes you sound smarter than what you is. But
we should start a segment.
Yeah,
just make up studies.
Yeah, but African American males are typically viewed as older than what they genuinely are. That's why, yes, that just looks, build, demeanor.
What study said that?
I will make sure I text it to you. And
bro, you show me a 70-year-old black man, and I'll think he's 45.
No, that's not what I mean. That's that. Now that is valid. That is valid. But I mean, when it comes to when they get charged.
Oh, young men. Okay.
It's like young men.
Okay.
But when it comes to how they're treated in court, when it comes to how
I follow you now.
In comparison with their peers, is this. And you hear it all the time, like when people talk about LeBron throughout the course of his career. Like you would think LeBron is supposed to is like a 40-year-old man, but he's been dealing with tremendous things since he's been 18. So this lady is also talking out of her ass. She's talking like, because obviously, like you said, I didn't know, I didn't care about him getting a degree or not. Mm-hmm. I just cared about him, what it looks like, because will he be able to use his degree and leverage it as best as possible? But he obviously has it. Like you just assume that because you get this stereotype of what an athlete is, and I'll be honest, he acted an ass.
Yeah, he did. He deserves the feedback.
Yeah, you assume that he's just some dumb jock,
right?
That's not necessarily the case. And you also forget they didn't give him anything. He earned that. Mm-hmm. Like it was not fair or not, it was a trade of services. I am this high school prospect that's pretty good. I don't know. I don't even remember him coming.
We'll go back to supply and demand. He was in demand.
I could have went to probably any school in the.
If you go to Ohio State, you probably could have gone anywhere.
And you decided, and I decided to come here. And Ohio State decided that that's valuable and worth a scholarship. So we made this trade. I have done my part. That has nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. Like that's the one thing I want fans to understand. Y'all love for the sport is dope, but some of y'all take this way too far, like way too personal. Like it ain't got nothing to do with you. Like just chill out, have your opinion, but like just keep it to that. He made a bad choice. And it wasn't the worst comment, I'm sure, in that whole thread.
No. And half of what she said was dead on, right?
It definitely gave HOA vibes.
But he literally just said in the thing that I need to control my emotions. And she's like, hey, you need to control your emotions. Like, you control your emotions, lady. I just said that. Anyway, it rubbed me the wrong way. Thehumidor.com. Get to thehumidor.com for all of your cigar needs. Huge selection of cigars. 20% off if you type in sportsden, all lowercase, all one word. Get to thehumidor.com. Do we have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Sure.
I think so.
You got any more chicken nuggets in your pocket?
Not in my pocket, but in the car.
Okay. Just doing them on a dog to run in and
that's what I was really concerned about. They were in my hand. I have big hands. Not quite Trevor's sized hands,
right?
But large enough. I'm confident in them.
Okay.
And I had them here, but I was like, what if Biggie's in there?
Right.
And then Biggie like smells the chicken nuggets and
attacks you.
And I don't have on my expensive shoes. So he's definitely gonna try to jump and get whatever's in my hand because he's mad that I don't have on shoes that he can mess up.
I wore those shoes today, so but he don't touch mine.
It's because I'm black.
It is. He thinks you're older than what you really are.
That's what
all right, we got to get out of here, get to ABC, get some good whiskey. We'll be back on Wednesday before the Jags game on Thursday. It's a short week for the Jags. You guys have a great evening. Thanks for watching.